So Gil, owners often get their horses vetted for purchase, obviously for reassurance of their health, and sometimes it's a requirement of insurance.
That's right.
Can you tell us what sort of vettings they are and what they entail?
There are really two types of vettings. There's the 2-stage vetting and there's the 5-stage vetting. And it's called a 5-stage vetting because it has 5 stages in it. A 2-stage vetting has only 2 stages in it. The 5 stages are designed to assess whether the horse is suitable for the purposes for which you as an owner wish to purchase that horse. Stage 1 being a static examination. That's skin, feet, legs, heart, eyes, teeth, back, generally looking for anything that might prejudice against sale. We then move on to stage 2. Stage 2 is a dynamic examination, which is trotting the horse up in a straight line, usually with flexions of each limb. In other words, we'll keep the limb up for 30 to 60 seconds, trot away and trot back, and that allows us to assess whether there's lameness. We would therefore say if a flexion test is able to exacerbate the problem, then work will exacerbate the problem. Stage 3 is a dynamic examination in the menage, so that's either at lunge or preferably ridden exercise.
Would you consider the horse's level of fitness in the amount of work that you
Yes, I think we would, Charlotte, for sure. That's a big player, and ultimately that can also be determined by what the horse wants to be used for. As I said, the purposes for which the owner wishes to purchase the horse. So if the horse is only expected to be an active hack, then how we perform in the school at that stage 3 of the vetting is, it's not going to carry just as much weight as if this horse was to go eventing at Burley. Stage 4 is identification of the horse, blood sample taken for prohibited substances, and allowing the horse to cool down post-exercise. And stage 5 is a final dynamic examination, which involves straight line trot and a lunge on each rein on a harder, firmer surface to identify principally any foot problems that might have developed.
What sort of size circle would someone be hoping?
Well, that's a very good question, because we don't always have the facilities for it, and it is accepted by our professional body that if we feel there isn't a sufficiently large surface, that we're having to turn the horse on too tight a circle, so a circle of a radius of a matter of a few yards is going to potentially on a hard surface lead to the animal actually slipping.
Yeah. So
it's not obligatory now, and what we look to do is, providing the facilities permit, just a brief lunge on a large circle on a hard surface. So we would look for 8 to 10 meter radius circle, just to put the animal under some sort of torsion or torque on a circle at trot to finish off.
And how long will the actual vetting process take?
The vetting process generally takes, it's a very good question, about an hour.
All right.
A 5-stage vetting is about an hour. A 2-stage vetting, you ought to say, well, that should be 2/5 of an hour. Actually, it isn't. It's about half an hour, because we're doubly sure that we don't want to make any mistakes, because we're having less of a window to look at the horse. So I find a 2-stage vetting takes about half an hour, but a 5-stage vetting takes the hour. And of course, as a vet, there's no contest. If you said, which one should I do the 5-stage. And then, of course, there are any additional tests that you may request to be done. Someone buying a venter may wish to have the airways scoped. Someone buying a show jumper almost always wants x-rays of the joints to see whether there could be any osteoarthritic processes in the early stages that aren't being picked up on the dynamic examination of the horse, but might actually be, if you like, a problem, a time bomb waiting to go off in the future during their ownership of the horse. And had they known that there was a low-grade osteoarthritis developing, or a bone chip in one of the joints that's destined to cause problems, they would not have gone ahead with the purchase.
And can horses pass or fail a vetting? From what you're saying, it sounds like some things might be noted.
You're absolutely right, and that's where the purposes for which the horse is purchased is really comes to the forefront. So if, for example, a horse is subtly lame on a hard surface at trot at the end of the vetting, yet we only want it as an active hack, then we are certainly going to look on that with a much more lenient eye than if the horse is going to have a very dynamic, active life as a show jumper and a venter. But it really brings me to the question, which is an excellent question: does the horse pass or fail? And I think as a profession, vets have tended to distance ourselves a little bit from that. What we do is we present the findings to the purchaser. We describe the consequences of those findings, the likely ramifications of purchasing a horse with these issues. So we would advise whether we feel it's going to affect the usage of this horse, but it's up to the purchaser whether they wish to pass and part with their money or whether they wish to turn away, in which case it would be a fail.